Let's be honest, you knew they were coming. The Oasis tour was pretty much the biggest thing to happen in music this year, so Gibson have marked the event with some signatures. But I bet you didn't expect 3 of them. Let's dig in and see what these are all about. So yeah, 3 signatures from a mixture of Gibson and Epiphone, and we'll touch on all of them. Obviously, the most recognisable one, and I saw countless shouts online when it was first a pixelated little picture of Noel playing this on stage, through to then countless articles asking what it is, what are the pickups, all that stuff. So this is the Noel Gallagher Signature Les Paul. Now the first thing, as soon as I picked it up and plugged this in, this thing is loud. And that's in part due to the chrome P90s. And I think cosmetically, that's the one thing that separates this out from other Les Pauls. I think it gives it a very sleek aesthetic with the matching poker chip. Also being chrome, the chrome against the black with the white binding, it's kind of classy, but kind of modern and kind of new, but also obviously taken a classic. I think it just looks sleek and stylish and cool. And then it sounds massive. Obviously P90s were the original pickups are in Les Pauls before PAFs were innovated and built. So there's heritage there, but it's loud and it packs a punch, and kind of for those classic kind of Britpop riffs, I can see why Noel went for it. Again, with the matching kind of silver top knobs, it's a great looking thing. It is weighty like a Les Paul should be, so it feels the part. Nice chunky neck, you know, everything about this screams Les Paul, but Noel's take on it, and it sounds massive. So without the gain, it sounds like this. Even then, you know, the P90 just pushed that to break up really nicely, and it's just big and it's brash and it's very Noel. So super cool to get hands on with that today. As I say, probably one of the most anticipated, sought after, certainly requested in terms of people asking what it was. Gibson coming along at exactly the right time and delivering a signature. Just does exactly what it says it on the tin, and does it in a very stylish manner. So shall we go? Let's go right first. So I think this is the one some people might not expect. So this is the Gem Archer Sheraton. And that's a very classy looking guitar, as you can tell, but there's a few kind of cosmetic things that I want to draw your eye to. The first of which will catch your eye is actually on the back of the headstock. So you can see there this black finish that kind of comes down here in the signature. Super interesting. Obviously, when you're looking at it, catches your eye on the back of the guitar. Then the neck is finished in this wonderful kind of binding on the fretboard. You've got the really interesting premium looking inlays. So the neck, and then with the gold hardware and the kind of tree, it's not got a tree life, decal, it just looks very high end, especially for an Epiphone. Super high end. And then I love this. It's got obviously the smaller humbuckers, the tailpiece, the kind of natural wood looking scratch plate. I just think it looks very classy. Again, with the gold hardware, it looks just super high end, but also very Epiphone, you know, very classically Epiphone, which is a really nice thing. And Gem Archer won't be the guitarist you first think of when you think of Oasis, but as you can tell from this tour, he's been a big part of the journey, which is getting recognised in his current inclusion in the lineup. And so it makes perfect sense to deliver a signature befitting of the man himself. Let's see how those pickups sound, actually, because I've talked enough about it. Sounds nice and big and full, which is exactly what you want. And as you say, just, I mean, really nice finish as well. Obviously the cherry, but the grain beneath is a lovely piece of timber, and just feels really nice. And as I say, premium, but with some idiosyncratic, if you want to say, that features to just tailor it to him and let you know that it's a signature. So yeah, really impressed, really cool. Let's finish off then with the Bonehead Riviera. So straight away there, it feels a little bit lighter than the Sheraton, which makes a lot of sense actually. I suppose you've got a little bit less metal on the body. And it's, again, got its own vibe here, but kind of very cool. So straight away, I've just gone for them there. The witch hat knobs. You know, something a little bit different, but I'm a big fan of witch hat knobs. I think that's really cool. Obviously, it's hardtail, but without the tailpiece. The inlays here are almost, they look about 50 years old straight out of the box, which I think is a really cool touch. Because I think a burst finish is always kind of very vintagey inspired and has that aesthetic. So I've had to have the neck and the inlays match, I think makes sense. You've got the longer, obviously, Epiphone headstock. And it just feels, it's really nice. I'll tell you what, actually, it's a really nice back on this as well. I know that's not normally the thing we'll draw your eye to, but it's just, I was thinking, you know, if you want to know whether there's good wood gone into a guitar, look at the back, because that's what they'll try and hide it. So, same with the neck, actually, really nicely finished neck. Signature again on the rear of the headstock. Again, it just feels very solid. Let's see what the pickups sound like. Obviously, the full-size humbuckers in this one. You know, what better way to show off these than just hitting some big chords in open E. So again, sounds really nice and big. I've just got a touch of reverb on the amp, as you can hear. Nothing else, we're going straight in. It just sounds very full, you know, almost fat sounding in a really nice way. All of them do. Obviously the Les Paul being a little bit different, but these are really cool. And what I really like actually is that you can point to some very obvious things on each that give them a signature edge. Which I really like, you know, from the kind of work on the fretboard and the inlays on the Gem Archer to the witch hat knobs on this, through to the chrome P90s, which I do think are stunning, both tonally and cosmetically. A really, really cool touch that stand the Les Paul out. Each of these has just had a smattering, a sprinkling of the artist going into it, while retaining all of that core tonal kind of heritage that you expect from each of the models. So yeah, these are really, really cool. If you're an Oasis fan, you are going to want to check these out. So make sure you check out the listings on the website, where you can get all the specs and details and high-res imagery. As I say, and if you've liked this, make sure that you like and subscribe to see plenty more like it. I've been Tom. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.